In 1999, it was decided to make a full-scale movie of the Wild Wild West. This was to star Will Smith. Will Smith was coming off a whole series of very successful movies, so why not just make Men in Black in the Old West? Okay. It turned down another movie, The Matrix. That role went to Keanu Reeves. Keanu turned that role into a whole series of roles in movies where he basically played the same character, the gun-toting, unhappy man. Well, let's hear what Will has to say.
So I made Wild Wild West. When I roll into the when I stroll into the I'm not proud of it.
Wild Wild West is almost nothing like the original series, except some of the characters are named the same thing. It's set in 1869. You should remember that. It'll come up later. This is one of the bad guys. This is one of the dead guys. One of the things I noticed was that the music had nothing to do with the original TV series' music. So here we meet Jim West.
The legend.
He's hiding out in a water tower waiting for the bad guys to show up and brought a woman along.
Jim.
That is already the third dick joke of this movie. So he hunts down the bad guy, the Bloodbath McGrath, and we see Artie in pretty horrible drag. And here is Artie's first gizmo.
Thank you.
Hypnotic breasts. And not in a good way.
It's a deep, deep pool. Maybe it's your old swimming hole, General. Are you feeling sleepy?
Yes, I'm sleepy.
Good.
Jim appears.
Didn't mean to startle you, ma'am.
Much shouting. Our two heroes meet each other.
U.S. Army, stay out of my way, lady!
Not a lady, I'm a U.S. Marshal.
It's the first time that Jim points a gun at Artie. Now this has been bugging me, and it's now going to bug you. The gun that Will Smith, Jim West, is carrying is a gun that was only available starting in 1871. It was a Colt remanufacture of Colt modification that allowed cartridges to be taken. But because Smith & Wesson had a patent on such cartridge revolvers, Colt couldn't put it out until 1871. So this gun is 2 years too early. And also Jim is carrying belts full of cartridges, which would not be available either. Like I say, it bugs me. The gun was the Colt 1860 Army, but modified to take cartridges, but not available until 2 years after the movie is set. This is not the only thing that's going to bug me. So how are we going to end this standoff? An explosion. Why not?
Now what?
So Jim is looking all manly and dangerous, headed for the White House. Sheep grazing on the White House lawn is actually correct. So here he is. He walks into the White House and is stopped by a guard who he immediately pulls a gun on.
Be that gun.
What, that one? What about that one?
Now, that room is full of guards with guns. Like, nobody makes a move.
Don't make Captain West any later than he already is for his appointment. Sorry, Jim. There've been a lot of death threats lately. The cabinet made me hire these damn detectives. Drink? Cigar?
Don't mind if I do, sir.
So I understand you let General McGrath get away.
That's not exactly the way it happened, sir. Some half a sissy masquerading as...
Artemis Gordon.
You know him.
Of course I know him. He's the best marshal I've got. Kind of genius.
Who are you, mister?
So here he is in the White House, and he's pulling a gun on... Well, he's not sure, but he's in the White House.
Wrong answer.
Okay. Now, hang on. He just fired a gun in the White House. There's people up there, and no guards appear. Not a one. There's guards out in the hallway, but not there.
America's top science.
So he finally meets the real president,
Hydraulics, explosives.
who, surprise, looks exactly like Artemis Gordon. Sorry, looks exactly like Artemis's version of the president.
Find this madman, whoever he is, and stop him.
Everybody got that? Good.
Got a train to catch.
Yeah.
So they're going to go to the iconic train. Here's Artie having his steampunk credentials, but he leaves Jim behind. These two guys are partners, but the first thing that Artie does is leave Jim behind.
Hey! I'm warning you! Gordon, stop the train!
Come in. Have a seat.
Forcing Jim to not only go to the train, but to leave his horse behind.
Oh, nice of you to drop in.
All right. Let's drop the beards, the bikes, the fake boobies. Why don't we set that needle point aside?
And this is not how you make chainmail.
Clarification. This is not needlepoint. This is needlepoint. I'm just putting the final touches on my latest invention. I call it the impermeable. It's a vest.
So now this is the first time that Jim pulls his gun on his partner. It's not the last.
Is that so?
But I haven't tested it fully yet. Guns. I find them so primitive and completely unnecessary if one's done one's proper planning. I must tell you, Mr. West, I have always felt that allowing any situation to degenerate into physical...
And for no good reason, he punches his partner.
Well then, Mr. Gordon, you failed.
All right, Mr. West.
And so in less than 2 minutes, Jim and Artie have tried to kill each other. On an important mission for the president, and they have almost killed each other.
I love this train. Meet Professor Thaddeus Morton.
So here's our dead scientist,
6 months ago.
and Artie is going to shine a light through his eyes as if his eyes were a slide.
This magnetic collar was found about 6 feet away near his body. Still trying to figure that one out.
That's a man's head.
According to the retinal terminus theory, a dying person's last conscious image is burned into the back of his eyeball, rather like a photograph.
That theory has been proven completely wrong, and certainly you couldn't use this apparatus to shine a light through his skull and his brain to get out his eyes. It just, no, come on.
Friends of the South, come to a custom
But it leads us to our first, gee, that was lucky moment,
garden district, New Orleans.
where a ridiculous thing is the only thing that can get us moving to the next part of the movie.
Touch them.
I'm not touching those things.
What are you afraid you're wrong? Touch my breast. Just one. Touch one.
Okay. You happy, Gordon? I'm touching your breast.
I knew it.
Yay, panic. And Jim pulls his gun on Artie again.
I was just going to jot down a note.
Now you could put a gun on that thing.
Alive.
And now we finally meet our bad guy. This is the man with no dick. This is Arliss Lovelace, who is short only by cutting off the bottom half of himself.
Sense of humor. No. Not even when we lost a lung, a spleen, a bladder, 2 legs, 35 feet of small intestine, and our ability to reproduce, all in the name of the South? Do we ever lose our sense of humor?
I am evil. I am evil. Oh, what'd you do that for? Because I'm evil. I can't help it. Sorry.
So Jim, being the only black guy in the building, is allowed to just wander around. And he doesn't use a lockpick, he uses a kick. He kicks the door open and nobody notices. So he's getting a clue, and Miss East appears to confront Mr. West.
East.
Now this looks like a cool scene. Bam. Kills Miss East. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. West shoots them all. Nobody hears his shots, and he leaves. Oh yeah, a sixth guy. Wait a minute, 6 guys? Boom, Miss East. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Miss East is not counted, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see them. And number 6.
What is happening around here today? Are gringos falling from the sky? Yes, El Guapo. I'm gonna shoot you right now.
Here's Jim pulling his gun on Artie again.
General, it's been a long journey from New Liberty.
So here's McGrath and Lovelace.
That I don't contemplate it.
And so do I.
For some reason in the river.
Scientific understanding of gunpowder and primers that I have today, I might have been standing here.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, you meant the stomach-churning carnage that earned you your unfortunate nom de guerre. What was that nickname again?
Just in case you didn't get it last time.
Bloodbath McGrath.
So McGrath's men are sitting on the bank of this river waiting for something.
Maybe we're in the wrong place.
No, we're supposed to wait exactly on this here spot.
And now this thing arises up out of the river. Very steampunkish, hurrah, lots of rivets. The men crowd around trying to figure out what it is, and...
You give them the order to desist!
General, I understand your distress, but believe me, these men are not dying senselessly. It is far,
They are dying senselessly.
can possibly imagine.
You go straight to hell, sir!
After you, sir.
I am evil. Evil! Evil!
You're evil.
Luckily, this thing sits on train tracks and has a train engine in it somewhere. Another, gee, that was lucky. So Jim, riding a horse he didn't have, appears at the shooting site, learns that McGrath was not the bad guy, and we get another,
I know that.
gee, that was lucky.
I'll tell you if you take me along.
You'll tell me or I'll leave you here.
The girls at the mansion, you know, they talk. I wonder if my hair will get frizzy in the desert. Where is this Utah anyway?
Well, that takes care of Rita's part in this movie. She's given us a gee, that was lucky clue, and now she's just a damsel in distress. So now we're chasing Lovelace, who left hours ago, but nevertheless we've caught up to.
Yards and closing.
Maintain this speed, Coleman. I'm coming up.
What is that?
I took the liberty of installing that while you were sleeping.
Don't take liberties with my things.
Very good.
I've only made 1 or 2 other little additions to your wardrobe.
Which Jim will not know about until it's just in time.
Am I missing something here?
No, please. Okay, now we've gone from the realm of steampunk to stupid punk. Better believe it. Them arms is in there somewhere.
We are pursuing Loveless. Why is he behind us?
So you can do this. So they come up with a scheme for Jim to defeat Loveless's train. It goes awry, obviously. Will Smith does lots of "Wah!" and alley-oop. So Jim is going to close up the smokestack to stop the engine, but then he's attacked by Odd Job. They fight. Oh no. Whatever will happen to Jim. And another, gee, that was lucky. Ooh. And now Jim will escape by leaping off the back of the train. Dead. Leaping off the back of a moving train. He's dead. Everybody gets captured, and here we are in a cornfield with those things around our necks.
Billiard ball this way.
Rita is sleeping off the after effects in the state. Sure to a no doubt, well-endowed blackamoor like yourself.
Another dick joke.
Impossible that a freak like me could fully enjoy the pleasure of a woman. Wouldn't you think that I could devise something for the lower half of my body that was hard, pumping, and
Another dick joke.
What a marvelous train. I find it a most comfortable way to pass the long miles from here to my laboratory in Spider Canyon. But either way, I'll be seeing President Grant soon at Promontory Point.
And now, not one, but two. That was lucky.
That you're alive and well.
Get out your little toolkit, Gordon. Get this thing off my neck. Tools are gone.
Now, it will turn out that Artie has a whole separate tool fit kit, which he has forgotten somehow, until it's humorous for the plot. Oh no, the steel penis!
And now we have to run.
Now, they can't possibly outrun these things. They're flying. They got enough speed to fly. And these guys are running through cornfields. Look, a gorge. Gee, that was lucky.
Go! Leap into my arms! No.
Gay panic. So now, look at the walls of this gorge. How in the heck are they going to get out of here? Oh, why do steel frisbees explode? And they get out, and...
What did you do? Obviously reverse the polarity of your magnet.
Yes, reversing the polarity, the Star Trek way. Gay panic.
And that would be my belt buckle.
Gordon, when you're telling this story to your grandkids, you make sure that you leave this part out.
Don't worry.
All right.
Wow, that's really a bad blue screen. And that's worse.
On Spider Canyon. We'd be getting there a lot faster if you weren't dragging that thing around.
A lot of scientific ingenuity and hard work went into the making of this. Be ashamed to just discard it. Besides, you never know when a high-powered magnet might come in handy.
Here's G, that was lucky number 6. How powerful is that frickin' magnet? It's a rail line obviously not used long enough to be covered in dust, but it's the one we're looking for.
Well, he has his own city.
Isengard! Oh, wait, no. Another stupid punk. Come on.
He has an 80-foot tarantula.
Yes, well, I was coming to that.
80-foot tarantula. Remember that. It'll come up.
Nice to see an invention that actually works.
So he stomps off.
Impressive.
Go to the train. Jim goes and gets a selection of guns from many.
Gordon, let's ride. You know how to ride, don't you?
Oh boy. So here's Grant at Promontory Point. Here's why the whole thing is in 1869. Everything else is wrong, but the event year is right. This is what they call research.
The immediate and unconditional surrender of the United States of America to the Loveless Alliance.
You betcha.
Talk to would be me.
And now just who are you?
One of these is Artie, and it turns out not to matter one bit which one is which. Because Arliss takes them, because Loveless takes them both.
Not a very good actor at that. He's too fat and dull-witted. You got a lot of brass, Gordon. Where's West?
You know him, sir?
Jim is creeping up on the spider, and notice he's got a shotgun bandolier with no shotgun.
I got a telegram for Dr. Lovelace from his mother, Irene. She told him, come on home, stop all this foolishness.
Yeah, he's dead. I mean, real dead. Yeah, he's dead again. He just fell from 80 feet high. 80 feet down to hard ground, so hard he bounced. He's dead. He's real dead. I don't care what the sound effect is. He's dead. So he wakes up from being not dead. Still got all them cartridges. Haha! Chainmail. Several pounds of chainmail he didn't notice until now. And by the way, bulletproof vests at that range are not. Jim goes back to the train. Where'd all the guns go? There's been nobody at the train since they got here. Here it is before. They're all there.
Gordon, let's ride. You know how to ride, don't you?
Yes. And now they're all gone. Why? Well, because we need Jim to not have any guns when it comes time for the showdown.
I'm proud to be able to sit before you all and tell you that the wrongs will be righted, the past made present, the united divided!
I am evil. Evil! Evil!
Great Britain gets back 13 original colonies minus Manhattan. Florida and the Fountain of Youth go back to Spain. Texas, New Mexico, California, Arizona revolve on Mexico in a little piece for me to retire on.
Now I want you to look at something. Lovelace is divvying up the United States to a bunch of other countries for some reason. Now he is a soldier of the South. Notice what isn't part of Lovelace land, the South. He hands away the entire South, which he fought for in the Civil War, to other countries. And takes land away from, well, the Indians. See? Lovelace land up north. Mexico gets California and Texas. Lawrence gets Louisiana. Spain gets various other parts, and Great Britain gets the rest. There's no South left. And now comes the most embarrassing part of the movie. Can't believe Will Smith sat still for this. Yes, that's him. And I'm going to cut this short because it just goes on and on and on. Oh boy. And Lovelace falls for it. Of course. Well, he has to. And Jim's boobies are...
Kill him! Him!
Flamethrowers! Whee! Really, really good flamethrowers. The president gets taken away.
President.
Right now we need to have a plan. Now that flying machine idea of yours.
So, can Artie build a 2-man powered flying machine in 20 minutes? You bet he can. Can he fly it? Never having flown one before? Never had time to practice? You better believe it. Can he fabricate contact fuse bombs in the same time? Sure. Can those bombs do no appreciable damage? Sure. So, time. And... Sure, everybody lives, except, well, munition. President is saved to not be saved.
Let's go.
Why not swear an oath of loyalty to me?
You're evil.
So things go to pot, and so Loveless decides to kill Jim, his own personal self. Pow!
More of a kind, always.
This is another one of those stupid punk moments.
Now, was it someone particularly close to you who perished in that military action?
Oh, please.
Well, that struck a nerve.
So not only are we having this fight to the death, but the spider is headed for a gorge. Loveless misses. His miss manages to save the spider. Sure. Loveless and Jim get hung out, so we exchange quips.
His uncle, how did we arrive in this dark situation?
I have no idea, Dr. Lovelace. I'm just...
Jim can't die, of course. Loveless can, but not Jim. And we get the zoom in for the hero quip, and it is...
Now that's a whooping.
Is that the best you can do? So, happy days. Bad guy stopped, president saved, and the severely damaged spider marches off into the sunset. Hooray! One last thing, the movie gives you the finger. Isn't that great? Now, in a separate video, I'm going to talk about the music video. The music video for this movie was actually pretty good. And so I'll talk a little bit about it and why it is interesting. Bye-bye.
And here we stand, while that demented maniac is hurtling towards our president on our one and only mode of transportation, with Rita as his prisoner, armed with God knows what machinery of mass destruction, with the simple intention of overturning our government and taking over the country.
Everybody got that?